Big episode today. I want to shoot the episode with our friend Kendra. Kendra's a transgender individual, having a lot of issues adapting after prison. I think this is going to be a really great episode. Got a lot of stuff that we got to take with us. And we're about to get this show on the road. So we're here with Kendra on the After Prison Show. Kendra, thank you for agreeing to do the show.
You're welcome.
It is absolutely beautiful where you stay. I've never been up here, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful area.
It is.
You've lived up here your whole life?
20 years.
Wow. This is pretty incredible up here. So let's talk a little bit about the struggles that you've been dealing with. You are a transgender woman.
Yes.
You spent time incarcerated.
Yes.
And how long were you incarcerated for?
I went to prison for 2 years. I went to Indian Creek Correctional Center. It's a therapeutic community.
Yes. I mean, I was there, so of course I know.
So they kind of kept me there to keep me safe.
Okay.
I did a year in jail, fighting courts, just to make sure, because I had like 4 years over my head.
Okay.
So if I finished that program, I could get out early, which I did, because I'd actually still be incarcerated right now if I didn't get that.
So the program was actually a way for you to get out early?
It was.
Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about what you were incarcerated for. You were incarcerated for a DUI, is that correct?
For 4 of them.
For 4 DUIs, wow. So is alcohol still a problem for you?
No, actually it's not.
So you don't drink anymore?
No, hormones kind of changed my thought pattern, actually.
I'm glad that at least you were able to get some help that you needed there. Right. I know a lot of people, myself included, have a lot of strong views about that prison in particular, but that's another thing for another time.
This is the town, like, we used to ride around the block here. Like, it's a circle from this stop sign by the funeral home to the bank,
right? Then
up back to the stop sign, and we used to swing this loop, and everyone used to sit here in their cars at night, and we used to party. But the police ran us out. That was all there was for us to do here. There was nothing else.
So just party.
Hitting back roads up, smoking blunts and stuff, that's what we did.
Well, I guess that's what happens in a small town when there's not a lot to do. You
do here for real.
So were you treated like an outsider being here?
This is the Handy Mart. This is where I got in trouble for stealing that beer.
Oh,
that was ridiculous. That was a really bad day. I was on a bender. I don't even remember it. I don't remember doing that. I just wanted to be fucked up. I just didn't want to feel anything. I wanted to just die for real.
That was recently?
That was back in September. A couple days after that, I went to jail. I bonded out. I'm out on bond right now. I have court next week.
What do you think's going to happen with court?
I'm scared to death because this is the same judge. They kicked my stuff up to circuit court. So this is the same judge that denied my name change and I went to the newspaper about. So it's a conflict of interest in my opinion because, like, I feel like he might go bad for me because of what I said in the newspaper, even though I didn't say anything dishonest.
Why wouldn't he let you change your name?
Because I needed sexual reassignment surgery before he would do it. But he don't even know that I've already done it. He didn't ask me. He just assumed. It was just really messed up.
What is sexual reassignment surgery? Is that the actual procedure?
Yeah, that's actually, snip and clip.
Well, I've never dealt with anybody who's transgender before.
But you always dealt with me and I was feminine in prison.
You were feminine in prison.
I was going through my transition in prison. I started hormones in prison at Indian Creek.
And I just treated you like
a normal person.
Right. And I mean, because to me you were a normal person. I would have never looked at you any different because of whoever you are. I don't judge people based on that at all, and you were an awesome individual. So we're on a pretty little risky bridge here.
It's fun.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the weight limit is on this thing, but this is a pretty Pretty risky little thing. So, wow, a lot of scenery around here.
Yeah, like when the river floods, this is what you have to walk over to get to your car.
Look,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about this community that you live in. It seems like it's a pretty small, tight-knit community.
It is.
Being a transgender woman, what has the support factor been like? Have you had more support or more adversity?
It's been mixed up. People actually talk about me behind closed doors. They don't do it to my face. I've heard things and stuff, but that don't really bother me, what people think.
Do you think that the fact that you are transgender, the fact that you've probably faced quite a bit of criticisms and hardships because of that, do you feel like that's
I think people take me as a joke, Joe.
well, that's not, do you think that has in some way contributed to the trouble that you've gotten into?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure you've dealt with quite a bit of negativity, and I mean, has that contributed to your substance abuse at all?
It does, but it just makes me stronger.
Right.
At the end of the day, I might go through a hardship because of it, but now I'm dealing with those things. I'm not drinking anymore, so
Right.
for me to look back on that, that was terrible. I was off the chain, like filthy.
So I want to talk about your time that you were incarcerated for, especially being in prison. It must have been tough being locked up in a men's prison, knowing in your heart that you really are a woman.
They stripped me down, they shaved my head, they did all these other things to me to try to make me look like a man.
Now, when you talk about being stripped down, shaved, you're talking about when you actually got to prison, they make you cut your hair, they change the way you dress.
I was in uniform, like in the military. So they wanted me to be a certain way, but the way I am, I can't hide that. So I lived as authentic as I could, with my, I pressed the boundaries in prison. I, have my little short Halle Berry cut that I used to wear. And
You say you pushed the boundaries of living as a woman in prison. There's a lot of stereotypes about homosexuals in prison. They wear the cut-off shorts, the little Daisy Dukes. Is that something that you did?
I did, but not trashy like.
You talk about being classy, and you have a lot to be classy for. You were actually a pretty big spokeswoman for the transgender community. Would you agree with that?
I just want to set a good example, I just want to show people that we're not all trashy.
I want to talk a little bit about your family, how supportive your family's been of your lifestyle decision.
It's something that is hard for me to talk about. So if I start talking about my family and get upset, just whatever. But it hurts. They are rude to me and mean sometimes. My grandma's really dealing with it well. My mom is dealing with it well. Brothers and sisters are dealing with it okay. I got one brother that's a little standoffish about it, and it bothers him.
Do you think they're embarrassed by the fact that you're transgender?
I do. I think that they are worried about me, what the community thinks. I think my grandmother has a bad misconception. If I go out, she's scared to death. She doesn't think I'll come home. She thinks that I'll get killed or somebody will kill me.
Hey, yo, it's freezing out here.
You got that right.
It's like 10 degrees. What is that? Is that a cat right there? Hey, dude.
Skipper!
So what are we on our way to do right now?
Going to AA.
And this is something that you do from time to time?
It's very important, yes. Very, very important to do this.
I would imagine so, considering that you don't want to drink anymore, that you're trying to change your life.
Definitely. It's a really good ambiance too here, so I'm comfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not worried about what people really think about me in here.
That's awesome.
And I know everybody in here, so it's a good. Oh God! First one to walk in. You got me. Hey.
So we just left the AA meeting. That was my first AA meeting, and I got to be honest with you, I feel like my life has changed just a little bit. How about you?
Yeah, I picked up a coin tonight. I was happy about that.
Let's talk about the coin. What did the coin represent?
Like a month of sobriety.
That's awesome. You know, every day, like they said in the meeting, is a day toward the good.
And I knew some of those people in there, and I know I can't talk about it, but it was just really painful for me to see where some of those people were at in their lives.
Right. I'm just going to ask you some questions, and feel free to answer whatever you want to answer, or if there's something that you're uncomfortable answering, you don't have to answer it. Being a transgender woman, is dating hard?
It's absolutely hard, because I have to go through the whole process of explaining it to somebody who might not know. And that's one of the problems, because I actually do get hit on a lot by guys. But I don't mislead them and I don't trick them. And I'm against that, because back in the day, that's what we used to do,
What do you mean that's what you used to do?
Well,
You used to trick guys?
Yeah.
You said you tricked guys. Did that ever, I can imagine that probably went bad for you a couple of times.
Well, yeah, because this is why I stopped transitioning, is because I started getting guys and I started getting feelings for certain people, and I was being misleading and I didn't want to tell anybody I was transgender.
Bad experiences. Being incarcerated, did you have any bad experiences?
Yeah, Powhatan at receiving. When I was in receiving, I almost got raped by 3 guys, and the only reason that it didn't transpire was because somebody came in and saved me at the right time. It was almost game time.
You say this individual got stabbed. He got stabbed because of you?
Well, I was helping this old man who was a cellmate with this guy that got stabbed, and the old man wanted me to help him write letters because he couldn't write. So I was doing that, and then his cellie's like, yeah, I see you out there with that faggot. And yeah, I don't want you to be my cellie. And they ended up getting into a fist fight in their cell. So the old man had some family in there, some young gang members, some bloods, and one of them jumped down off the top tier with a shank. And the dude that fought that guy, he got stabbed, and I felt so guilty. I felt responsible. We got locked down for 72 hours so that they could find that weapon.
So this is day 2 of our interview with Kendra, and sitting here we noticed that we've got some pills on the table. And can you just tell us a little bit about what this is?
Sure. This one right here is spirolactone. It's a testosterone blocker. So it fights my testosterone when it's being produced. 200 milligrams, I take 100 milligrams in the morning and 100 at night.
Okay.
Finasteride, I take 5 milligrams a day. It's so that I don't go bald, and it slows down my facial hair growth.
Wow.
And this is estrogen. This is what gives me...
Gives you what?
The magic pills. This is what gives me a female body.
So you're telling me right now if my cameraman took those pills, he would...
He would have boobs. And a butt. And hips. And
Levi.
all that. So...
Consider your options here, brother.
Why don't you try it first and see what happens?
That's quite a bit of medicine that you have to take on a daily basis.
Yeah, so it's the morning time. I haven't taken it yet, so I take this every day. I have to take it every day for the rest of my life.
Are there side effects from taking this medication?
Hell yeah. It changed my mental, the way I think now. It's just so much.
Right.
I'm going through female puberty right now.
You brought up a good point. The court battle that you're facing right now for stealing the beers. I'm sure regrettably that was a stupid decision that you made, and if you could take it back, you would. But this also brings to mind another case where an individual seems to be targeted. The Stephen Avery case. Do you feel in any way that you were targeted by possibly the police?
My whole thing on that is that I gave them the ammunition. I'm the one that put myself out there. I gave them the bullet to put in the gun. So I can't say that I'm being targeted. I put myself in the hot seat. But as far as certain circumstances in my whole court battle right now, and the coincidences, I went to the media on this judge for denying my name change because I don't have gender reassignment surgery yet. I'm sorry, I don't have $20,000 to do that. But that doesn't mean that I can't be Kendra Brill and earn $20,000 so that I can get that and be my authentic self. A name change for a transgender person is a victory. You're actually, to have that on your ID, do you know how important that is, and how that makes us feel to be identified as, that female. And as it stands right now, the DMV in the state of Virginia, they identify me as a female. It says female on my on my ID card, but it still has my born name. And I have to use that ID. That's embarrassing. Like, I don't want people to. I'm tired of people always, like, it's every day talking about trans. We just want to be recognized, as either woman or man. I can only speak for trans women. I don't know really much about the life of a transgendered man. I respect it. I have some trans male friends. But back to the court thing, being targeted. I'm in the legal battle right now. I can't really discuss it. I have an attorney appointment today, a conference call with 2 attorneys from New York that are from the Transgender Legal Education and Defense Fund that have been working on this ever since it happened.
So Kendra, is there a specific message that you would like to send to the transgender community?
Look, y'all, stay strong. Don't let society beat you down. Stop thinking about killing yourselves. Don't think about, getting messed up on drugs because you're trying to ease the pain. I understand it all. I'm being strong as I can right now. I have court coming up, so I know you all can do it. I'm here for all of you. If you need me on Facebook, just message me. Legit concerns, please. I just believe in this community, and I believe that everybody should be who they feel like they are. Doesn't matter if it's even bigger than transgender. Just be yourself. Because in my philosophy is that we all can't be the same. Or it would be a really boring, very boring world that we live in. So, just stay true to yourself.
Kendra, we really appreciate you taking the time to do the After Prison Show. We know you have court coming up. We're going to try to stay up with you and find out how all that works out. And we wish you the best.
Thank you.
It was a big deal for you to come on here and tell your story to not only the world, but also to the transgender community. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are watching this who were educated and also intrigued by what you had to say. Look, we wish you the best and take care.
Thank you.
And that's it. Another episode.
Is that
It's over.